So here we are. We've done all of our paint work. We've put our lights on, our mirrors back on. We've even put our awning on. Needs a couple tweaks. But what do you notice right away? It's just a big white dry erase board. It's just a lot of white. And that's why with motorhomes they always break it up with some decals or decals, whichever way you say it. And so that's what I'm on to now, is just to try to do a little splash. I actually had some left over from the last RV I did. It was a larger graphics kit for RVs, but because this is so small, I didn't need to use everything that came with it, so I just used some of the select decals out of it, and I'm just gonna use what's left to put some on here. I'm just playing around with putting this TRD decal back on here again on this side, and where it'll fit because of this slide out barbecue situation here. I used to put it used to work good right here on both sides, but now I can't do that. So now I'm just seeing if I should go upper or lower. On the back, we're going to do Warrior across the back here. I think we're going to do a compass dial here, just to add a little something. Because this back end of this motorhome isn't symmetrical anyway. You know, that window is quite a bit off to the right there. So we might just dump a single decal here to add a little more weight on that side. And the Warrior across the top, maybe with a couple flashes on either side of the Warrior if I can find something around. And this is kind of what you'll end up with. It's not in the sun, you can't really see it that well, and it's not completely done either, but it's most of the way there. So it's just a couple swooshes above the bed bunk, and then, you know, just right here, these tips kind of end up at the same height, and we kind of have the same slopage going on, except for the doors different. But I did what I could do with it, with what I had, and I still have to take the protective plastic off of this. So if you want to see me do the other side, maybe stick around. If not, you kind of get an idea of what it looks like here now. And so I'm going to flip around and set up and do the other side, and then talk a little bit about how I do it, my method, and maybe let you take a look at how I get these laid out without destroying them and without wrinkles. So one of the biggest issues is trying to get them laid out similar on both sides, and it can be difficult because you got lots of different compartment openings and areas that you don't want to go over top of: fridge doors, etc., windows. You know, there's all kinds of obstacles, entry door, gas cap, things that you want to avoid. Some you can, some you can't. So a lot of times you can, like on this side, I'm gonna actually run the decal over this edge. I'll do a cutout here. I'll run a bit of the decal on this outer framework, and then the inner door frame, and then right through and onto the window. It'll be blotchy, it'll be cut, but the mind's eye will carry that decal through, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, so we're just going to lay it like that. And this one over here, basically what I did is I just took a measurement. So I laid them out rough at first, just with tape, to see if I could do that same slopey kind of angle, approximately in the same location on both sides. You know, if there's something that you can't get around, like a cutout for something, hot water heater or whatever, if there's something that you want to avoid, you can move the decal. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. As my first RV boss told me at B&C RV in Tucson, Arizona, he said, "Chess, you can't look at both sides at the same time." And let me tell you, my friends, that is true. But I told him then, yeah, but people have a memory, and if you remember where the decal is on one side and you come to the other side and it's sitting in a totally different spot, they might notice it. So you want to try to keep it close. In this case, I got lucky. I was able to nail it right in the exact spot on both sides. Lucky me. So I took a measurement from the bottom to here, which actually ended up being 59 inches, and then whatever the measurement was from down here as well. And then I measured in from the edge and measured in from the edge to the tip. I put a little piece of green tape, it's gone now, to let me know where that exact spot was, there and there. And then I laid it out so it was the same on both sides. Did the same with these too, right? You know, measure down from rooftop edge, right? And then right here I just kind of eyeballed and took a note of the measurement there, and bingo. So now we've got it. You can see I run this one over a bit and then cut it to the contour of my front. This is kind of a wedge shape already, but and I could have just laid it on, but I chose to just pull it forward a little, and then I'll take a razor knife once I've laid it, and I'll do a nice little cutout there. I'll mark it first with a jiffy marker so I can kind of get my curve, my line, and then I'll neatly take a razor blade and trim that one down. So you can follow along with me on this one here. I'm doing the hinge method here. I'm going to do lay this half, then lay this half. So this half I've actually already laid. So I peeled the backing off it, sprayed it with soapy water, and then laid it down, and then just used a hard squeegee, a credit card, maybe a credit card's too sharp, something that's not quite so sharp. I've got a body filler thingy-majig that's got a straight edge plastic that's not too sharp, so I can get some weight into it, right? And you can see that there's soapy water coming out, and that's what we want. So we want to work all the bubbles out, work all that soapy water out. You can try it without soapy water if you want, but you're not going to be happy. You're going to end up with tons of bubbles in there. And then if you just happen to make a mistake and lay it not quite the way you wanted, or the wind blows and the decal bends, sticks to itself, you're done. It's over. Throw them in the garbage. You're done. So, and in this case, I really don't want to wreck one. Actually, I already kind of did. Like a dummy, this one was the tape had fallen off and it fell down beside the RV, and then I went to move the RV and drove over it. Well, so I've already made some damage in here, and I hope that I can fix it up. It's the outer plastic, but it has damaged the decal as well. So same on this side. I'm just going to we are just looking for the edge of this paper. Come on. My fingernails are always non-existent, so a lot of times this takes me a while. Come on. Wow, don't tell me I'm going to have to do an edit on this, and I think I'm going to. I'm going to have to cut you guys out for a minute while I manage to... I'm going to need a razor blade. Peeled, and there we go. So this is the time when it gets a little dangerous, because we don't have soapy water on there, and we do not want it to stick to something we don't want it to stick to. Take our soapy water. Doesn't have to be that soapy, but a little bit of any kind of dish soap mixed with water. And then we're just going to roll that down with our hand. It's going to follow where we want it to go automatically already, because the first half of this decal's already laid. So that's where the hinge method comes in handy. All right. And then we're going to take our plastic dealio and we're going to roll it over and start getting some of this water out of here. Gonna remove these two pieces. Now, tape. And you can see the soapy water coming out of there. And if something was wrong and we didn't like it, no worries. That soapy water is still under there, and if we were determined at this point that we had made a mistake and it wasn't where we wanted it to be, we can still remove it at this point. You know, we're not at the point of no return. And that's another good thing about using soapy water. Or some people, and I have in the past, used Windex actually. So we just keep laying it down like that, running over it, because right now there's a protective paper over top of the face of this decal, okay? So we can rub it as much as we want, and we're not going to have to worry about damaging it, and that's nice. Once we peel this paper off, well, if we've got bubbles then we have to be a little bit more careful, because we could damage it. So I'm going to put a piece of tape here because this keeps on, and the wind's blowing and it keeps wanting to take it. So we have to do some cuts here. I need to get a razor blade. So yeah, brand new razor blade, right? I mean, that's kind of, I did have a new one and then I lost it. Okay, so here we go. For now, we're just going to do a cut right here. We do a cut right where the door is. Right. And this, we should be able to just lay it. Oh, well, maybe. Maybe. We may have varying degrees of success on this, but like I said, the mind's eye is going to carry this through. We'll use what we can. We'll put as much of this on here as we can, and then if there's some area that doesn't want to stick or it's going to be a problem, we can just delete it altogether. We could delete it from right from here back, and it would be fine. No one's going to care. And the other thing is just silicone. So usually I end up cutting these back a bit farther. Like on this one, I'm going to cut it back a bit farther because there's a silicone edge there, and this stuff is not going to want to stick to that silicone. So we're going to take this piece out of here, and we're going to leave a bit more of a gap there, because we're going to end up with peeling. So from this point forward, look for areas where it's trying to bubble up on you, and you should be able to see that. I have to do this cutaway here for this with a razor blade, but I'm not going to do it with this camera around my neck. So I'm just going to take a pen, and I'm just going to, same thing, I don't want to go right to the edge because I got silicone there for sealant, so I'm going to go like a 1/4 inch away from this molding edge back, mark it with a pen, and then cut it with a knife. So we're going to continue to rub this down. I tend to rush this part after. I let it sit probably for about 15 minutes or so, and then I come and I rub again. real hard, make sure all that water's out what I can, and then I start to peel it back. You might want to let it sit for an hour or 2 hours or something, because when I go to peel it back, it does try to come off a little, and then I just take a wet piece of paper towel and wipe it flat if there's any areas that pull up a little on me. So I rush it a bit, but okay, so that's good for that one right now. And I'll do this cutout, and then we'll come back and we'll remove this top protective coating.
Up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
So I had to use mineral spirits because there was sticky on the paper that goes over top, the clear paper. The sticky adhesive transferred over to the decal, so I used some paint thinner to get that off. And then when I was just smoothing it out a second ago, I thought I was using a rag without paint thinner, but it had paint thinner, and now it's discolored, taking some of that black. What a drag. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do to try to get that black back a little bit again. But besides that, it's done, but that's a shame. And then same with the screw ups on this one here. I made a few patches in here and to try to cover up some of these bad areas. Not bad for a motorhome, I guess. It would be absolutely atrocious on a hot rod. But so we'll see what we can do with that piece there. Anyway, things don't always go the way you hope they will. But we're gonna call that part of it finished. So I just masked it off and then gave it a little shot of satin black, just ever so lightly over that area. And I think that